Hello scholars, welcome back to the Kemet Maasai Academy as we continue our series of videos on student motivation. I am reading from the book, The Student's Master Plan, Hardcore Rules for a Lifetime of Success. The topic that I'm looking at right now is a quiet environment is conducive. We must develop the ability to keep a steady head in the most chaotic of circumstances. But the fact still remains that a serene, positive atmosphere is the most conducive to learning. A little stress is natural and unavoidable and can actually serve to strengthen your character. Humans have not evolved to exist in a world where there are no noises or distractions. Most people would go absolutely crazy if left in a place that is completely quiet for too long. We have a natural appetite for stimulation, not only for our eyes, taste buds, nostrils, and hands, but also for our ears. We have evolved to appreciate the sounds of the wind tickling the leaves or a cat purring softly. We have learned to block out certain mechanical sounds that have become regular background noises at home. The sound of the clock ticking, or a fan whizzing, or a refrigerator whirring. We have grown so accustomed to them that we find some of them comforting. There are also certain times when we deliberately seek out noise. A party is expected to be noisy. Children at play are expected to be noisy. Some of us become very noisy when playing our favorite game, listening to our favorite song, or singing in the shower. At these times, noise is acceptable. But when it comes to the classroom setting, the best work is done in quiet. First of all, do not bring things to school that will make a disturbing noise in the classroom. Leave transistor radios, mini portable television sets, and CD players at home, or safely turned off in your bag. Most cellular phones have an annoying electronic jingle each time they ring. A constantly ringing phone can seriously disrupt a class. If your teacher allows you to have a cellular phone, keep it on vibrate. Stand-up comedians should leave their comedy acts outside. The classroom is no place for hilarious belly laughter and outrageous anecdotes. The classroom is a stern and serious place for serious work. When you enter your classroom, you should enter with the understanding that this is a place for work, not play. To the really serious-minded people of this world, the classroom is a sacred place, a place to gain instruction, information, and insight, a place for contemplation, communication, and character building. For the period that you are in your classroom, you should take on the sagacity of a monk in a holy order. You should take on the diligence of a mountaineer scaling the grueling slopes of Mount Everest. You should take on the respectfulness of a novice studying karate under the tutelage of a grand master. Do not defile your sacred classroom with carefree romping and frolicking. There is a time and a place for everything. The only sounds that should be heard in your classroom during your lessons are your teacher's voice explaining the lesson, your voice giving feedback about the lesson, the sounds of pencils clashing with paper in the fervent quest to record the relevant details, the sound of chalk on board, the sound of the clock marking the tick of each productive hour, the sounds of reasoning, consultation, and constructive discussion. A quiet environment is the most conducive one for the classroom. Now, having said that, and I'm not going back on my word when it comes to that, a quiet environment is indeed conducive. And there are other things too in the classroom that will make it conducive. When the classroom is clean and tidy, when there is order in the structure, the actual layout of the classroom, each person knows his or her desk, for example, or the way the chairs and desks are arranged in such a way to facilitate discussion, to facilitate students seeing what's happening at the front of the class, whether on the board or what the teacher is demonstrating. Blocking out outside influences, so noise coming from other classrooms, music or noise coming from the neighborhood, from the road, if the classroom is beside a highway, a main road, these things can affect what's happening inside the classroom. So the classroom environment ideally should be quiet, should be clean, should be ordered, structured, facilitating discussion, facilitating openness between teacher and students. Students should be able to ask questions and to get honest, respectful answers to their questions. Now, having said all of that, I do want to add that as scholars, as serious scholars, we should not allow ourselves, though, to use the excuse that we might be in a place that's less than conducive. Don't use that as an excuse not to get your education. You get what I'm saying? So even though we know what the ideal should be, if you find yourself in a situation that is not ideal, that might be even far from ideal, don't allow yourself to use that as an excuse for why you do not learn. Because let me tell you, there are students in other parts of the world, they find themselves in situations that are totally not conducive at all. Whether it has to be with the grueling journey to school and from school, or the fact that they had no breakfast, they have no lunch money, they have no books, they have no support system at home, they have no uniform, they have no shoes, and they get into the classroom, and some of these classrooms have no tables and desks. They sit on the floor or they sit on blocks, right? And when the rain falls, water floods in. I've seen videos, on the internet of some conditions, some situations that students find themselves in. And I am by no means saying this is fair or this should be allowed to continue. Wherever we can make the classroom better, we should, because we want it to be conducive. But these students find themselves in these situations and they don't allow it to hinder them. I've seen students working in the middle of a heavy downpour and the rain was falling, flooding the classroom, and they were there sitting working and the teacher was teaching in spite of it. They go to school barefooted, they go to school in rags, they go to school hungry, but they still understand the importance of getting their education, and in many cases that's the only thing that's going to pull them out of that condition. And we who find ourselves in a much better situation, even though not in an ideal setting, but much better situation, what those children would consider to be luxury, we complain about. We take it for granted. We think we're entitled to, the optimum, which we might be, but if it's not available, don't use it as an excuse, because others are making the best of far worse conditions. It comes back to how serious are you as a scholar to get your education. How serious are you? Don't allow anything to hinder you. Keep working in that condition until you get better, right? Until you are able to get into a better condition, a better situation. Sometimes we have to be able to just block out the distractions. Block out the fact that the classroom might be dirty, it might be leaky, it might be noisy. Block that out. You have to be strong in your mind too. If the situation is not conducive, if it's not favorable, let your mind create that situation in that little space in your head, and you work with that until better comes. I hope you have been motivated. Please share the video so other students, teachers, parents, everyone can remain motivated as we get our education. Remember, life is a school. We're all students of life and students for life. So please share the video, and remember that on the Kemet Maasai Academy channel, we have mathematics videos from grade 4 to grade 11. Please take advantage of those videos so you can sharpen your skills and stay on top of things. If you have not subscribed to that channel, please do so now and spread the word so others may also subscribe and benefit. I'll see you in the next video.